Whenever you're ready.
Oh my God.
Jessica! I've never been called a fox!
Dana.
That's a classy name for a Harry.
I like it classic.
Okay.
Do you?
Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast.
Sure.
Out with the bad and in with the good, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Jessica.
Dana.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, just dandy. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast. I am Dana Powell.
I'm Jessica Young. And we are here to rant and rave.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. We did it. Are you sure you can't hear like noise in the background?
I promise. I hear
I got
the
a
hum
new-
of the highway, but I don't think that's from you.
It's not. It's from your hotel. But my noise here that I'm hoping nobody can hear is I had a birthday gift card and I went ahead. This is how you know you're getting old. You haven't even asked me about my week and I'm already like, guess what? I got one of those Shark HEPA air cleaners.
Ooh, like an ionizer.
Yes. Well, you can see it if I turn you a little bit. See it?
Yep.
It's all automatic, everything.
Awesome.
And the reason it's on right now is because I just cooked. So it's getting rid of the odor.
Ooh.
It is lovely. We live in LA, and every day when I look at the weather, it's like moderate, not good for sensitive lungs. And I'm like, I've been breathing this for over 20 years. My kids growing this is an investment in our health. And I said to Dan Tipton, that's how you know you're getting old, when you use your birthday stuff for an air filter.
Yes.
It's worth it. Our air out here is so nasty. You were in town on Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lordy. It was ick brown dirty out there.
I know.
Which was sad because it was a beautiful day, actually. It was like 75, nice cool breeze. It was like perfect weather, but the air was nasty.
Well, the pollen is fallen, okay? Like really hardcore. I mean, we have so many different kinds of trees out here, but just like the East Coast, we've got those big old pine trees, and it's raining pollen. There are two, I don't know what I did to deserve this, two right next to my apartment building, and I'm not kidding you. Every single day for the last 2 weeks, when I open the door, I'm like, oh my God, is there a fire? Thinking it's ash coming down. It's pollen.
Oh, yucky.
And I have had a splitting headache and sneezed my bloody brains out for 2 weeks. Anyone with those fall allergies is dying right now.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I don't really have strong allergies, but I did say to Dan Tipton last week, I was like, I have been sneezing and nose running like crazy, and I didn't feel sick. I knew it was sinus, but that makes sense. It's fall, quote unquote. Even though we're in LA.
I'm not sick, and I was like, oh my God, this pollen is seriously, it's overwhelming. And I hate those little like things that come out that almost look like little cocoons. They're like those gross mushrooms that the guy always squeezes.
Yes.
That has the plume of smoke.
The spores.
Or puff or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how it is with these little pollen things that fall. They're like,
yeah.
Not a fan.
Not a fan of nature.
Very angry about my.
Very mad at nature. I did some fun things this weekend. I went on Sunday. What did I do on Saturday? I said I did fun things, and now I'm only remembering one thing. Oh no. My son got his first vaccination.
Oh yeah.
It was so wonderful. And of course, very LA. There was a little step and repeat there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, of course, this is so LA. So we did that. Very excited.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like a sense of hope that I haven't had in a long time.
Yes.
So that was exciting. And he literally went, ow. And that was it. And then I kept checking in all weekend. Like, how you feeling? Do you have a headache? Is your arm hurt? No.
Awesome.
He's
so
like,
with kids, are they getting 2 shots?
Yes. He already has his second one scheduled.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did that, and then we went and had magpies soft
Yum.
serve as a treat
Mm-hmm.
to teat, and some pizza for dinner. That was his treat for it. And then on Sunday, I went down to Olvera Street.
Love it.
I hadn't been in so long,
I
and
know.
I was going with a girlfriend who she hasn't lived here very long. She had never been.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just so fun. And it happened to be, it's after Dia de los Muertos, but
Mm-hmm.
they had the classes of what is the dancing called where they have the beautiful skirts they twirl and
Ah.
the heels. I should know this. My heritage.
I
But
know. I don't remember, but I love it. And
they're
especially in
little,
Olvera, it's so special to see
yes.
that.
And they're little black boots that have the boys and the girls.
Mm-hmm.
They have a bit of a tap on the bottom, I think, because they do
Mm-hmm.
and they swing their little skirts. Anyway, so they were classes and it was all ages. I think the youngest was like 2 and then up to like 12.
Oh, cool.
Boys and girls. Oh my God. They were so excited. They had their their uh
Calavera,
yeah,
their
like the
faces
gems
painted.
painted, and the
Mm-hmm.
gems and everything. And they were practicing their steps before they went up together, posing for pictures, swinging their skirt. It was just the
Oh,
cutest.
I love that.
And of course, there's a lot of cool history there, which I
Uh-huh.
always find interesting in LA because Los Angeles, like, we just knock everything down and rebuild. Like, there's not a ton of history here.
I know.
That's one thing I love about like East Coast and, the southern states that have so much history and heritage around. We don't have so much, but Olivera Street is one of the oldest. It's considered like the birthplace of Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it was cool.
It's really cool. I love going down there. I wanted to go really bad for Dia de
Yeah,
los Muertos
I
because it's
know.
such a cool celebration. But I was like, all right, maybe this isn't the year to do it
I know.
because it's
They do it.
cramped.
Yes, it's a
It's a
small
tiny
area,
old
tiny
street.
little cobblestone
Mm-hmm.
streets, and yeah, it probably would have been chaos. But it was so cute because we walked down to Union Station right across the street.
Beautiful.
It was stunning. Yeah, the architecture is just insane. And it was almost sunset, so the light was coming through. But then as we were coming back, all of the grown-ups had started, they were playing music at the side of the little pavilion, and
Hmm.
all of the older couples were all dancing together. It was so
Aw,
sweet. It was just like this neighborhood community
I
kind of
love that.
impromptu dancing circle.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cute. It was neat. We had a good time.
I love it.
How was your week? You've been busy.
I went out of town for work, and then my friend who moved last year was in San Diego. So I said, you know what? I'm already halfway there. I will drive down to San Diego after work. So I did. We had the best time. It was like an adult sleepover. She got a
Aw.
suite through her work, and we went out for literally, I'm going to say, hands down, the best sushi I've ever had in my life. I'm not exaggerating. We,
Disgusting?
we went to this incredible restaurant that she found, and the quality of the fish and the artistry that was presented and the service that we were given was absolutely impeccable. It was truly like a transcendent experience. For all my fellow foodies, I'm not being too much or exaggerating when I say it was transcendent. I had uni that brought me to another place in this world. Okay, that's
Ugh.
fresh sea urchin, Dana. I know you
Good
just
Lord,
love it.
have mercy. What are you, a monster? What kind of beast eats sea urchin?
Oh, this one, that too.
But they're so pretty.
It doesn't look anything like what you think it does.
After
This is
you
the
butcher it.
insides.
So it's liquidy.
Uh-huh. No, it's not liquidy. Oh, God, I
Yeah.
wish I could make you try it. Just kidding. It is definitely an acquired taste. It's not something like shrimp where you tell people just shut up, it's cooked. Just try it.
No, thank
Uni
you.
is not for the faint of heart. Okay. So we had this incredible dinner. We laughed our asses off. She introduced me to the Great British Baking Show, which many people recommended. I had never seen it. We watched a couple episodes of that. I loved it. And I babysat this weekend, which was
I saw.
amazing. And this is how much of a creep I am. I never want to text the parents unless it's an emergency, right? Well, this is one of my dearest friends. I text her. I said, how long does she usually sleep? And she said, well, probably till about 2:30 or so. Why? Is everything okay? And I said, yes, fine. In fact, I just want to play with her. So I kept going over to the iPad, which has their monitor on it. I'm not kidding you, every 5 minutes to be like, is she up? Is she up? Is she up? Is she up?
She's so
Oh
cute.
God, it was seriously so fun. So yeah, it was a very nice week, and I had a couple of beers with some friends last night. It was very
Nice.
nice.
That's
Busy but
lovely.
nice.
We also went for a walk around the lake. I didn't tell you that. And
Mm.
I pet every dog I saw.
I love that.
I'm just that person now. I mean,
Yes,
I
that
always
always makes
ask.
me happy.
I always ask first. I say, "May I pet?" Because some dogs don't like to be pet,
Yeah,
and they'll be like, "Oh no, she's kind of snippy or whatever." I'm like, "Okay, that's cool. That's why I ask."
right.
But if you say yes and that doggy comes anywhere near
Mhm.
looking towards me, I'm in on it.
That's right.
Oh,
I love it.
well, should we jump on in?
Let's do it
Let's do it.
because this is something that has been driving me really nuts, and it's happened twice in the last few weeks. So I'm like, you know what? This is
Really?
very rant worthy. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My rant, and it is my personal rant, is restaurants not disclosing an upcharge for certain things at the time of the order. Okay. It is on you to either A, list that on your menu, or your servers, every single one of them, must be instructed and trained to let people know.
Yeah,
Okay. Some restaurants have no modifications, right? Or they don't
right,
even make certain things as an option or a side or whatever. But when there's options, be honest. Okay.
right.
Now, it started with Alan ordering a burger. We went to this awesome place when we were out of town last week, and he ordered a burger, and the server said, "Fries okay with that?" And he goes, "Yeah." She's like,
Yeah,
"Great." Okay. Now, first of all, burger and fries, those kind of go hand in hand, right? I know
sure.
there's some
Yeah.
places don't, but if you don't, A, you're a jerk. And
Yeah.
B, why isn't that made clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I was annoyed is I thought, as opposed to what? You didn't give him another option, nor is there one listed on the menu, right? Of course,
Right.
someone wants fries. How about you tell them that it comes with chips or a side salad instead? And if I want fries, it's a $2 upcharge.
Right. Right.
Not unreasonable, right?
No.
So then we went out to one of our absolute favorite restaurants. I feel bad naming the restaurant. Eff it, I'm going to do it. Their food's outstanding. Madre.
Okay.
There's one that used to be by a place that I worked for many years, and we went there a lot. And now there's one in West Hollywood. And I was like, we've got to go. We were on the way to a friend, and I'm like, we're going to Madre. Let's go there and have dinner. So when the lady's taking our order, I ordered the mole. And mole always comes with tortillas, right?
Right.
And she says, flour or house made corn? And I said, "Oh, I love flour, but now that you said house made, I feel like I've got to get those corn tortillas." She's like, "Great." Continues on with our order, right?
Right.
So our bill comes, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" There's a $4 upcharge for getting the corn tortillas.
No. See, when you say flour or house made corn, you're saying it comes with one. You get a
Correct.
choice.
Correct.
Or you say, okay, that comes with flour, or you can have the house made corn for a $4 upcharge.
Correct. So I
Yeah.
only got the corn, but I didn't know that if I got corn and not flour, that it was going to be $4
Yeah,
more.
that's ridiculous. I've never had that happen before.
I was and $4, that's a lot. Now
That's a lot.
here is my point of why this well, there's two things that make me furious. A, I find it dishonest. I don't like it. Okay. I don't like
Also, that's
feeling
like,
duped.
did you eat four? tortillas because that's $1 a tortilla.
Okay.
Good grief.
I don't like feeling duped. And
You said it's
oh,
dishonest.
it's dishonest, but also if you just let it be known and say it comes with flour, or for an additional charge of $4, you can get
Yes.
our house made corn. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go ahead and get the better item or whatever it is, because I'm a glutton that way. I'm going to probably do it. But that's my choice to agree to that.
Yes.
That's why I'm so furious. It's like, don't make it seem like it's this or that and then just slip that in at the end.
Yes.
That's the same way. I mean, this is a different thing entirely. My dad got pissed, and my dad is an excellent tipper, always has been. We were out to dinner the last time he was here a couple of years ago, and we went to a nice restaurant, and then the bill came, and there was another surcharge. And my dad's like, "What is this?" Like, "Oh, that's for like a 3% tax that we put to help with benefits for our employees." And my dad was like, "No, no, 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 no. That's not on me to pay that." And he's right. And it wasn't disclosed.
It's
And
on
by
the
the way, a lot of
employer.
restaurants do that in LA. You should start looking for that when you're at a sit down. I mean, when's the last time you've gone to a sit down restaurant? But
Yeah.
you'd be shocked.
Yeah,
There's
but
some
what can you
places
do
that do
about
that.
it?
Well, if you know about it, you can then, I guess, choose to not go there. But I find that obnoxious and egregious.
Yeah.
Another 3 to 5% upcharge on the bill.
Yeah,
that you're
because they
letting
don't
people
want to
know after they
provide.
eat. Yes.
They don't want to provide for their own employees. They want you to.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I've had it with people not just be upfront about it. Put it on your menu. Most places, here's a Caesar salad. Then underneath it says add chicken, $4. Add
Exactly.
shrimp, $6. You can get the Caesar as is, or know that you're going to pay $6 more, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah, that's aggravating.
I know.
Because then how much did you spend in upcharges just in one meal? You know?
I mean, it was again for the French fries. It was only $2, but to me, it was the principle of it. It's like, no,
Especially
what was the
because
alternative?
everyone knows, at least in the US, almost everywhere you go, you don't just get a burger singularly. It comes with a side.
Yes, and it's usually French fries.
Usually, yes.
Normally, the upcharge is if you say, "Oh, can I have a salad instead?"
Yeah, for $1.99 extra.
Okay.
That's what they tell you.
Nope. The potatoes were $1.99 extra, $2 to be exact.
Ugh.
Rant over.
All right. Well, I have a listener rant. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna read it. Hey, friends. Thank you for covering my last letters about spay, neuter frustration and the rescue that we work with. Of course, our pleasure. It really meant a lot. On to my most current frustration of life. My husband and I are moving from Utah to Texas to be closer to my sister and her incredible family. I'm so thrilled. However, it is showing me that my spouse has a difficult time doing anything if it seems overwhelming. I'm a very anxious, medicated, empathic organizer who really needs to know each step to take before we do anything as large as selling, moving, buying all at once. Normally, I think ahead and anticipate every possible situation so my spouse doesn't normally see how much work goes into things. But this summer, he was let go from his job, so it's just my income and our savings for us. So since he has plenty of time, I requested him to do the research and get the ball rolling so we can move before the end of the year. After 2 weeks of no information, update, communication, there was still nothing done or even started. Come to find out, he hasn't started because he's overwhelmed by the idea of where to even start. Yeah, I'm so annoyed that I have to be the one to communicate any of this or even spend time doing the research that I asked of him. Due to all the skills I listed above, I really try to trust people like my spouse or my family when I ask them to do something. Releasing that control is still very difficult, but I've gotten better. But this situation result so far has not proved to be promising. Anyway, before I go on too long, the main rant here is, guess what? I'm overwhelmed too, but I work full time and overtime to make extra money for us to move. Stop playing your damn video games all the time and start helping with this task.
Okay.
I adore you both, Sarah. Okay, so I understand this so well. Now mine is different because we're not moving. So like the stress of that is crazy to begin with. I do understand being so overwhelmed that you don't know where to start, but that's when it's on you to ask for help because she's obviously got a lot on her plate. But if he had said, okay, I know you're busy. I want to make sure that I get the ball rolling for us. I do understand what it's like to be overwhelmed, like I said,
Yes.
but you have to ask for help. And it's on him to say, I know you're busy, but I just need an idea of where to start. And she could have easily, because she's thinking about it too, been like, oh, totally. Why don't you start with this, this, and this, and then we'll talk again or whatever. But to not do it and then just leave it with nobody doing it only makes it worse for everybody.
Yeah. You're
It
being very
only
nice, nicer than I would be, because of course
well,
I'm thinking, hey, she's working. You figure it out.
right. Well, see, I'm the one who can't get work right now, so maybe that's why I'm being nicer. But I also will say, even when you have a relationship and you both live in a home, especially whether you have children or not, you're sharing a space, right?
Yes.
Especially if you're sharing your space. I guess if you're, bi-coastal and both work on different coasts, it's a little different. But there has to be a shared responsibility in the home that's
Yeah.
completely set aside from work. Okay.
Mhm.
So I work, but I don't always get paid for it. I do this
Right.
podcast every week. You know what
Right.
I mean? So like this is part of what I do as a
Mhm.
job. It's a wing
Yep.
of my acting career.
Yes.
I do it cuz I love it, but I do it for free. In fact,
Exactly.
we need to get on the ball because we're both broke and we actually have to pay a few things to make this. So anyway, it's just like there still needs to be like I find that I go through this thing where I'm like, well, he's doing his job where he goes to the
Yes.
office. So I have to make up for I'm not bringing in money right now. So I clean obsessively.
Right.
Well, then I start getting resentful because then I'm just a housekeeper.
Yes.
And also, he starts to be less concerned with what he does around the house.
Mhm.
So, like, if I'm every single day asking you, stop leaving the coffee maker pushed out and the empty coffee pod on the counter, I'm going to get mad. So, I actually had read this thing about like the division of responsibility in a home. It's
Mm.
very, very important. I wonder if I can pull that up real quick
Huh.
because it talks about being respectful. Because here's the thing whoever it falls upon to run the home, which is what he's having to do right now because she's
Mhm.
working and they need to move, right?
Mhm.
So, whoever it falls upon, it is your responsibility to make sure you get it started.
Mhm.
And this is not her case per se, but I would say, and for anyone else listening, the person who is at work, be grateful that you get to go to work and just do your job because I don't get to. I'm always a mommy and I always have to find babysitters and I always have to find a way to work around that schedule. I don't
Mhm.
get to just do my job. When I show up to what you guys would call a job interview, I call it audition.
Mhm.
All the other women are sitting there calm, they're collected, they're pretty, they're running their lines. I come running in like a cartoon character, sweating bullets, going, where's this energy? Because I have barely made it there. So when you go to work, you do have to remember it can get overwhelming. Okay.
Yes.
This is not her situation. They're moving. This is a
Mhm.
whole different thing. You have to realize that your partner at home still has all these things they're trying to do, be it look for a job, whatever it is, but they share that space with you. And if they are just tasked with having to ask you to do every little thing you do around the home, that's a job.
Mhm.
That's called a manager. And I'm sorry, but I don't get paid a manager's wages to clean and run my home. I don't want to have to tell you. I want you to be an active, respectful participant in my home and my life. That's what partners are. Okay. So even though their situation's a little bit different, he needs to be an active, respectful participant in
Yes.
what's going on because she has her plate full.
Totally.
And he needs to ask for help if he doesn't know where to start, because I'm not saying I don't get that. I get overwhelmed very easily. I have an entire pile of crap I'm staring at right off screen that has been there for months that I need to go through, but it feels overwhelming and I haven't
Yes.
done it. So I do get it. But she need help. And I'm sorry, but I know the male video game gene. I don't know what it is, but they get overwhelmed and they got to play video games for hours in their underwear. There's nothing that makes your partner madder. I'll tell you that right now.
Right?
It's like, you see me
Seriously.
sitting crocheting for 12 hours a day. You see me painting for 8 hours straight in my panties. I don't think so, because there's dishes to be done and towels to put away. And I don't want to have to tell you because I don't get paid to be your manager.
I also like the idea of giving some suggestions, like you said, for real. Like, yes, it has to be an active thing and a shared responsibility and all that kind of stuff. But this is a good point for, especially when it's with your partner, spouse, whatever. Even if, Sarah, if you just list 5 things maybe for him, and say, get a moving quote from 3 companies, call utilities in new town to find out how long you need, or if you go online to get your new stuff set up once you've moved. What do you need to do to close down your current accounts in wherever you're living now? Maybe if you write out the 5 things that you need and are most pertinent and give it to him, then it's like, you know what, buddy? You've been given all the tools to succeed. This is on you now.
Well, now you're being very nice, because Sarah, what I would say is there's probably 1,000,001 lists on Google. How to get started with a big move. Tell him to Google it while he's
Actually,
got
you're
that
right.
remote in his hand. I'm sure he plays something online with his buddies and an ear headset. He can take a second, open a second window, and Google that list.
You are correct. Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
we wish you the best with
We
this.
wish you the best. That's the thought of moving. It's so much. It's so
It's so
much.
much.
It's so
It
much,
really
even when
is.
you move like down the street. Can you
Yes.
imagine a big state
That's the
move?
thing. It's no
Oof.
different than moving across the country, really.
Totally,
Like,
totally. Just a shorter drive is all.
I know.
Ooh, we feel for you.
Yeah, we
We feel
really
for
do.
you. All right. Well, we definitely need a cleansing breath
Oh,
after all
yeah, we
that.
do. Yes, we do.
We got real mad at spouses who don't pay management wages. People who upcharge without telling. Okay. Well, we like to rant out all of our problems, all of our issues. Sometimes they're serious, sometimes they're not. But we get a little worked up, and I will say, Jessica and I got worked up in the green room before we even started, so we're ready for our cleansing breath. We take a deep breath in, we blow out all those frustrations, and we'll spend the rest of our time together filling up with some goodness. All right, here we go. Take a deep breath in. And oh, yes. Oh, you know what? You should probably tell everybody how to get a hold of us. We always forget.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You can please find us on Facebook and Instagram at the Rants and Raves podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Raves_the. You can email us at the Rants and Raves podcast at gmail.com, or go to our website and hit the contact button, www.therantsandravespodcast.com. Thank you for writing in this week. Sarah sent us a rant and a rave. That's like double the pleasure, double the fun. We are so grateful for that. Please keep your keep your correspondence to us coming. We love it. We live for it, in
Please
fact.
do. Yes, please.
All right, guys.
Ready for
This
corners?
week's corner is Weirdo of the Week. You're weird. You're so very weird. Why must you bring your weirdness here?
I feel like we haven't heard it for a while, but I know we just did a couple of weeks ago. I guess I just miss it.
You know what? Thank you. I appreciate that, Dana. You are the one that asked me to write it, and I gave you what you wished for. So, so this is very much to me in the same vein as our friend in Turkey who joined the search party for himself unknowingly. He was quite drunk.
Oh my God. Yes.
Well, this is a lost Colorado hiker who was gone for 24 hours and ignored rescuers' calls because they didn't recognize the phone number. That would be me.
Oh, no.
That would be me. Okay. Dana. Okay. This is from insider.com. The author is Osmi Hauron. And here we go. Local search and rescue authorities say a Colorado hiker who got lost on a trail ignored calls from rescuers because they didn't recognize their phone number.
Oh my God.
In a Facebook post from Thursday, Lake County search and rescue officials described the ordeal, which they said took place on Mount Elbert, Colorado's highest peak. Officials said the hiker set out at 9 a.m. on October 18th. By 8 p.m., they began searching for the hiker when someone reported that they hadn't returned. Multiple attempts to contact the subject via their cell phone were unsuccessful. Officials said a team of 5 people set out at 11 p.m. to search for the missing hiker and stayed out until 3 a.m. A team of 3 then... This is so boring. Get to the freaking point. God. Per the Facebook post, the hiker said they lost the trail around nightfall and spent the night searching for the trail. And once the trail bounced around onto different trails, trying to locate the proper trailhead. Is this author on acid? The missing hiker reached their car the next morning, about 24 hours. The person apparently was unaware a search and rescue operation was underway because they had been declining the phone calls. One notable takeaway is the subject ignored repeated phone calls from us because they didn't recognize the number. If you're overdue, according to your itinerary, and you start getting repeated calls from an unknown number, please answer the phone. It may be a search and rescue team trying to find you.
I mean, that could have been one paragraph long. That last sentence could have been. Who's the author?
All of it.
Add it to our list of authors that were like,
It's like at approximately 1 p.m.
At some point I zoned out a little bit. I'm sorry. And I actually have you to look at.
I'm telling you. It's like at 1 p.m. the hiker set out. At 1:01, hiker looked at Fitbit. 1:02, hiker took a drink of water to stay hydrated.
Oh,
I mean, I cannot handle it. I can't handle it.
That might be the worst weirdo of the week we've ever had.
It really is.
Wait, it's not from a listener, is it?
No.
Okay, good.
But seriously, that would be me. I don't answer my phone when I don't recognize the number.
Oh, no, if I don't know the number, I won't
if it doesn't pull up.
The only time I do is like if I have a job and there are people calling, I know there are going to be people calling me. I don't know. Then I will. But if it's not that, forget it.
And see, because of that, I never do either. And it's always bad news. I know. The point is, if you get freaking lost, you answer the phone.
You answer your phone. Or how about this? Call somebody because you're lost.
I mean, that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, this means that they had service.
They had a phone the whole time.
The number was reaching. They just kept declining.
They were just like, I don't know where I am. Who do I ask?
God.
I wonder if they took some edibles or something.
that one paragraph, clearly they had, okay? Oh my God.
Well,
All right,
I
what?
think I think I have a more fun one. It's definitely
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
This is this is from a listener in New Zealand, which I love.
Oh yeah, did I send you this or
You
no?
didn't, but I found it myself.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
I love so much that this happened. Like, this is so great. And I also am going to read the caption too, but because you and I follow Sky Dogs
Yes.
on on Instagram. So here's what the corner is. There's not a title. What's our animal instincts corner? But that
Oh
doesn't.
yes,
I don't think that really
yes.
fits this though.
Really doesn't.
I
It's
don't
kind of a
know.
what the what.
Kind of, yes, because you guys, did you know a bat just won New Zealand's highly esteemed Bird of the Year award, which
What?
means that all the birds lost. Now, I don't know if this listener knows, but I have an affinity for birds. Like, I have a screenplay. Like, I have this whatever. I have a thing for a project for myself
With
where I
birds?
where I go back to reclaim my crown as a professional bird caller because I'm unhappy with how my life has
Amazing.
turned
Why
out.
did I not know about
You
this?
didn't? I'll send you the
No.
log line later,
Okay.
investor. I'm just kidding. What would we have to invest? Our dirty laundry. Um, our literal dirty, like dirty socks and pants. So this says, you heard me. I'm reading this from Instagram. It's the shit you should care about account.
Mm-hmm.
You heard me, a bat, but not just any bat. Okay, here we go. Whew. The Picataro bat or long-tailed bat. We'll go with long-tailed. I think that's better. Which is one of two bats in the country and one of the rarest mammals in the world. That I didn't know. Oh, and it's only, this is the best part. And it's only about the size of your thumb.
Oh.
Oh, now you might be wondering, why was a bat in the running with the birds? I am. Well, Forest and Bird, who run the annual awards, decided to throw the bats in the ring, not as a cute Halloween stunt, but because they are a critically endangered native species that needed some
Hmm.
awareness. And because if we had a bat of the year, it would only have two contenders. I mean, every other year, right? Who's going to win? I mean, in America, we have a lot of different kinds of bats, I think. I know Australia has tons of different bats, but I guess they don't make it over to the NZ.
Right?
They only have two little bats. Anyway, I
This
think
one's like a little hummingbird.
it's
It's
so cute. I
cute.
personally think that bats look like doggies with wings
I
anyway. I
know.
love them so much, but I know some people are freaked out by bats.
I think they're so cool.
This says, I particularly like this quote from the Washington Post, which I found after searching. Is a bat a bird? So please don't say I don't do my research. Quote, while we sympathize with its endangered status, a bat is not a bird. A bat belongs in a belfry. A bat is a batty. A bat is batty. I don't think this professional from the Washington Post knows what they're saying. They just got a tongue twister. Bird of the Year has not been without its scandals. In 2019, there were fears of Russian interference after hundreds of Russian votes poured in. Turns out they were probably legitimate, and Russia just has a lot of bird fans. The year before that, there were apparently a couple of hundred fraudulent votes from somewhere in Australia from someone in Australia who was attempting to rig the contest in favor of the shag. And last year, again, apparently, a hacker slipped in 1,500 votes for the puku little spotted kiwi. That sounds like a cute
Oh,
bird.
I
I don't
know.
know if it's worth sneaking in 1,500 fraudulent votes. If Pika Pika Toro can win Bird of the Year despite not being a bird, then you can ask out your crush because anything is possible. And that's what the caption says here. If a bat can win Bird of the Year, you can apply for that job you're underqualified for. Congrats to Pika Pika Toro. How cute is that? I mean, it
So
does seem
cute.
slightly unfair to all the birds.
I know.
But listen, there are men in the world who are sexier than I am in ladies' clothes and makeup, so it happens. Does that really is that the correct analogy?
That's hilarious. Yes, you're correct.
I'll never forget. I was walking down Santa
A
Monica
bird in
Boulevard.
bat's clothing.
Yes. I was walking down Santa Monica Boulevard with Laura Kraft and this drag I think he was a drag queen, but he was
Mhm.
around that area a lot, so he may have been
Yes.
working as well. But anyway, stunning, right? And
Mhm.
so one day he said, "What you looking at?" to her, and she said, "You are stunning." And she was like, "Oh, I knew I loved you." But she said her legs were just like flawless and
Yes.
so long. And I was like, I know it seems unfair.
It's amazing.
Awesome. All right. Are we ready for our raves?
Yes, and thank you. That was from one of our listeners.
I know I love it so much.
I don't know that this is appropriate or I mean, in Australia you say from down under. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Is
New
New
Zealand doesn't.
Zealand also down under? New Zealand produced one of my favorite shows of all time. Hello,
Flight of
Wentworth.
the Concord.
No,
Oh,
Wentworth. It's in its final season.
oh
The
yes.
final season just got released on Netflix, which
That's
so
my
just
husband's dream place to move. Whenever things get
New
shitty over
Zealand.
in America, he's like, I don't know, we should probably move to New Zealand.
Yes, because people are nice. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Their
I would love
prime
to
minister
go.
really knows how to TCB, take care of
I
business.
know. I
Like,
feel like they're such a forward thinking country. I don't know.
yep,
Stunning.
indeed.
Let's
I just
go.
wondered if I could hit my pop filter one more time because I usually
There's
have my mic angled down. You guys, I'm sorry if you hear like these weird little
You're in a hotel. It's not your fault. This
foofy
is how
foofs and
dedicated
swoops.
Jessica is. She records on the road when she's doing important uh, police work.
Oh, Lordy, yes. Okay.
Here
Here we go.
we go.
This rave is also brought to us by Sarah, who gave us that rant earlier that Dana did.
Love it.
This is the company By Humankind, BYHUMANKIND.com. And she said, I've used these products for over a year now and really do love them. Their customer service is very responsive and their products really hold up. The fact that you get reusable containers and only have to order refills makes life a lot easier. They come out with new products every so often, but my main reason for sharing it is they have a plastic offset subscription available for $8 a month to offset the plastic waste footprint of your entire routine. For anyone that is curious to dabble in this, should definitely give them a shot. They have travel kits that would be pretty perfect for trial runs.
That's
So
awesome.
this is really cool and it's beautiful, simple, modern product and packaging, lots of like bars and whatnot. So this is how it works. We send you your refillable container and your first refill. Containers are free when you subscribe. Ongoing, we send you convenient refills on your schedule. Subscribe and save 15% or reorder as needed. Over time, you'll reduce your plastic footprint, saving our planet from single use plastic waste.
I love it.
They have, like, for instance, I'm sure you've seen these before in like a little canister. The tablets. This is for the dental routine set. I think it's the kind of toothpaste that like you bite into it and it activates it in your
Oh,
mouth.
I didn't know about that.
That's a new like eco-friendly and not like some weirdo chemically thing. It's an eco-friendly way to have instead of all the tubes of toothpaste,
Yeah.
you get these little they look like pills, you bite into it and so deodorant like um there's all these bars. There's also, I don't know how the refills come, but for shower, shampoo, and body wash. So it's very cool to have companies like this. There's also a place in LA that does this now where basically all they sell are refills and stuff. You don't go in and get new bottles of shampoo. You either like bring back and exchange your old bottles or you bring in a glass bottle and they refill it. So
Well, if
very
anybody
cool.
saw the video that was released last week of how much plastic we just pulled out of the ocean,
It's beyond
I
astonishing.
mean,
You can't believe that it's
shocking.
real. You can't believe
No,
it's real.
just shocking amounts of
Yep.
plastic they were dumping onto these
Yep.
boats to carry out of the water.
Yep.
It
One
was
of
shocking.
those floating garbage piles is bigger than the state of
I
Texas.
know, which is one
That
of our biggest
is
states.
horrifying.
Yeah,
That's horrifying.
horrifying. Yes.
They can be seen from space now.
Yes.
Anyways, keep it in mind. I really do try to do it, and I'm telling you, like, every little thing that we can do. But I now, every time I go into a store, I'm like, I think I'm just going in for one thing, but I'm going to take one of my reusable bags in. And
Yeah.
I do.
I keep them in my car and in my purse.
But I'm like, bad sometimes about bringing it into the store unless I'm going grocery shopping. And I'm like, no, anytime I go into a store to get a couple of I don't need another damn bag.
Right. Well, you know what I just did recently, if you want me to do this for you, I just bought a bunch of thrift store t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sewed the bottom closed from the inside, cut the
So
sleeves
smart.
off, and they're bags, and they're adorable. The last
That's
batch
so
I got
cute.
were little girl shirts that were like girls are run the world, or
How
positive
cute.
vibes only, or a glitter unicorn. They're adorable, and I just use them as reusable bags.
I love it.
And it takes me 2 minutes to make.
Ooh.
I literally just use a yarn needle and some jute and sew up the bottom from
How
the inside. You
fun.
can't see it.
I'm very impressed. Very impressed indeed.
Well, if you want some, I'll make you some.
Okay.
I love that. Thank you so much for sending that in.
Indeed.
My rave this week is called Too Good to Go. Too Good to Go is a mobile application that connects customers to restaurants and stores that have unsold food surplus, which you and I have complained about before.
Yep.
So I love this. The application covers major European cities and in October 2020 started operations in North America. One day, I was passing by a bakery and the baker was throwing away a lot of great products. I asked if I could have them, but the baker said he wasn't allowed to donate the food. So I paid for it, and he ended up giving me 3 times more than what I had paid for. That made a light bulb go off. This is something that could happen every evening at every local food store. It's been 5 years since that day, and we now saved over 71 million meals thanks to this super simple concept. At Too Good To Go, our mission is to inspire and empower everyone to take action against food waste. By connecting app users to delicious surplus food at restaurants, eateries, cafes, and grocery stores at the end of each business day, Too Good To Go presents our partners and users with an easy, fun, and accessible way to fight food waste on a daily basis. I just thought that was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's the number one anti-food waste app, it says. And I just want to give like some statistics here. They say on their website, it's on the front page, it says an unknown reality. Each year, more than 1/3 of food produced in the world goes to waste, and it's responsible for 10% of all greenhouse gas emissions. We are on a mission to change that. Are you with us? We dream of a planet with no food waste, and every day we're working on making that a reality. Our app is the most direct way for you to get involved. Just download, log on, and get saving perfectly good surplus food from your local stores. It's always a surprise at a great price and an instant good deed for the planet. So they have like almost 48 million users. They've saved 100.4 million meals all over the world since 2016. 1,200 waste warriors fighting food waste across 17 countries. They're really trying to build something big, and they're also, not for nothing, but if you're looking for a job, they have positions open and they've got you can work from where you are or whatever. So anyway, some people might need to look into that as well. So it's Too Good, TOO, good, GOOD, to go, TOGO, Too Good To Go.
I love it. I looked this up, and like, for example, one of the participating restaurants is a chain, but I think it's just in LA, but it's so good. Le Pancutidia. Do you know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
talking about?
Yes.
It's like a French bakery and cafe. So every day they have a mystery bag and it's $4.99, I believe. And you don't get to know what it is, but I saw a sample, like somebody had posted online of getting one of those, and they were like, somebody come over right now and help me eat these pastries. For $4.99, it was 6 beautiful things. I
What?
mean, yes, like maybe
Whoa.
if you go to a nice bakery, one croissant could be $3 to $5,
Easily.
right?
Yes.
Like,
And also worth it. Like delicious.
yes, because you can't ever make something like that. So I was shocked. I'm like, holy cow, for $4.99, that's a you put that on a platter, you're everybody's favorite person at the office, or you just made your
Yes.
family or your girlfriends or whoever happy, you
Yes.
know?
Definitely.
So it's very cool. It's different restaurants that participate depending on the city. And I think it's on the East Coast too. It seems like it's very new to the West Coast, in particular to LA, but I'm going to totally sign up for it and start looking into it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Wow. Hmm. Jessica,
Say that.
I got lost in my thoughts. I was thinking about croissants.
She's like,
I think
wow.
that's our show.
Hmm.
I was thinking because here's exactly how my brain works. I was like, would I rather get like a
Yes.
chocolate filled one
Mhm.
or a chocolate chip one? That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yes. Yes. I
Man,
can relate.
I love me some sweet treats. I love me some sweet treats
I
a
love
little bit too much.
it.
Jessica, I do think that is our show.
I think it is.
You want to tell people how to get a hold of us one more time?
Yes, you guys, please reach out and find us, like us, follow us, message us on Instagram and Facebook at the Rants and Raves podcast, on Twitter at Raves_the. You can send us an email directly at the Rants and Raves podcast at gmail.com, or go to the contact button on our website, www.therantsandravespodcast.com. Thank you for
Yay!
your loyalty.
I saw your brain search for that word. I watched your eyeballs. Your eyeballs were scanning your brain for that word.
I think it was Freudian because I almost said thank you for your patronage, but
Oh, I was thinking listenership, but that's a little
that's a
clunky in
good
the
one.
mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the show, we usually like to share what we're interested in or
Mm-hmm.
what we're watching right now. I mean, we've been watching tons of our fungus, sending each other our fungus guy, fascinated by fungi guys videos.
Yes.
He had a whole slappy dappy the other day.
I couldn't handle it.
I'm
Please
telling
go to that
you,
site if you're
he's
listening.
he's
I
a
beg
dirty
you.
bird.
Yes,
I think
look
he's
up
a secret.
Fascinated by Fungi.
And he acts so innocent, but I think behind closed doors, he's a dirty
I
bird.
agree. And those slime mold mushrooms, you better look out. You better look out.
Have you been watching anything lately?
Well, again, I cannot stress this enough. I'm going to circle back on Wentworth. You guys, it is a hardcore show, but I love it, love it, love it. The casting, the acting is absolutely phenomenal. It's great storylines. It's back. And it's very weird because this is the last season, but I think there's either been, I think it says season 8 when you go to Netflix,
Mhm.
but there's like 10 episodes a season. So it started at 11 and then goes through 20. I don't know why they didn't put it on as its own separate season. There was a
Oh, weird.
clear delineation of when it stopped, just like it does every season. It's like something weird happened. I don't know. Who cares? Watch it. You've got 8 episodes, 8 not episodes, 8 seasons to catch
Seasons.
up on.
That it feels overwhelming and I need help.
It's so
That's what I learned from
good.
Sarah's email.
I know. It's so good though. And my father is the one who suggested it because my dad and I have a shared love for prison shows and things
I do
related to
too.
prison and
Yeah.
Locked Up Abroad and all
Yeah,
the
same.
Geo, MSN shows, all that. My dad binged that shit in 2.5 days. He called me with his like maniacal giggle. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, hey, I finished it. I can't believe it. I finished it. I'm like, you finished Wentworth? He's like, yep, I couldn't stop. And my dad does not
Hilarious.
stay up super late. He stayed up till like 1 in the morning.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I highly recommend it. Okay.
Well, I did something probably not smart.
What? Did you
I
start a show?
I started a station.
Ooh.
So I downloaded the ID Discovery app. Do you know what that is?
No.
So it's a part of, you know how Discovery has like Nat Geo and all these different
Yeah,
channels,
yeah.
right? So one of their channels, and now it's its own number, I think, but it used to be only late at night. Like it was
Right.
like Discovery from like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. But it's all crime shows. It's investigative Discovery. So I
Weird.
downloaded that app and I have been full-time crime
Oh my God.
for several days. It's
Oh my.
probably not good. But at the same time, don't come at me because I'm ready. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Oh my God. I love it.
But I also always like to share a point to ponder. And I
Hmm.
didn't run this by Jessica. I'm not going to make it political, but if any hate needs to be thrown, bring it my way and not hers. I actually did, I think, talk to you about this, but not
Okay.
that I was going to say it on the show. I don't know why, but I feel like it's important to remind people that this happened in our country, and you know people that it happened to, at least in a public persona type way.
Hmm.
George Takei, 6 days ago, posted on Twitter and Instagram. And if you
Hmm.
don't know who George Takei is, he played Mr. Sulu on Star Trek.
Hmm.
Um, he posted, "Is it wrong to teach about the Japanese American internment now? Because I've spent my whole life telling our story, and I'll be damned if I let some fool at a school board meeting refuse to let their kids hear about what happened to us. The truth, people. Teach the truth." So I'm not going to get into what critical race theory is, why people are upset about it when they don't even understand what it really is.
Right.
I'm not going to get into any of that, but I thought it was interesting that he posted that because it's a reminder, you guys,
Hmm.
that he lived for 3 years in a camp
Yep.
here in California
Yeah.
that he was not allowed to leave before
Exactly.
he became a celebrity.
I didn't even learn about that part of history until I moved to California. And to be shocking, do you know where I learned about how the railroad was built and that it was primarily built by Chinese immigrants who
Right.
a vast majority of them were treated like complete garbage
Tons of
or
them
just
died.
died because it was
Yeah.
so dangerous? The
Yes.
work, right? Like literally on mountainsides and everything. I learned about that at California Adventure, at the movie
Wow.
about California that was narrated by, I believe, Martin Short and Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh my God. Well, I didn't even know about the Japanese internment camps
No,
until I was way too old.
that's what I
And
mean.
I
I was
saw a
already
poster.
living here, and it
I was
wasn't even when I first moved here.
I was here too because I saw a poster for it at the Rose Bowl flea market. They
Mm-hmm.
had real posters that
Yep.
said you need to be gathered here by this point, and it had the date and time.
Wow.
And I was like, "What? I never learned that in school." And maybe
Oh,
that's why
no.
I felt like I wanted it to be a point to ponder for people this week, not to talk about critical race theory, not to talk about all this stuff, but to not hide that we had
Yep.
internment camps in California. If you don't
Uh-huh.
mind, I will actually send you the link to this article.
Yes.
George Takei, this article is old, I'm sure. It's from Gizmodo. Yeah, 2014 actually. But it's George Takei describing his experience in a
I read it.
Japanese. You
I'll
did?
post it for our listeners and I'll put it in the
Okay,
show notes.
good.
I've read the article from his account.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
if you don't mind, the clip that's in that article is only 7 minutes long, but I just want to read the very first few sentences of this interview, because I want people to remember this isn't just people trying to be political and saying, hey, we're headed down a bad road here. You know, you can think what you want about critical race theory, but I want you to know what it is, and I want you to know that we do have a history of problems in our country. So Amy Goodman was the interviewer, and she says, so you were born where? And he said, Los Angeles. She says, and at the age of 8, you were interned? No, at the age of 5. At the age of 5. Okay. We came out when I was 8. Now, I could go on. She says, talk about that. What happened? He was in there with his whole family. And I encourage you to read this article and to know and imagine how you would have felt being 5 years old and being put into a camp with your family you were not allowed to leave because of your race. That happened in California. And that man's still alive today. So it didn't happen that long ago. And I want us all to be aware, you know, we've talked about people are mean right now. In America, politics is horrible. I can't speak for other countries, but it feels like there's a lot of unrest in the world. And for America, I want to remind you, you can be bullheaded, you can fight, you can be mad at me and say this is not the appropriate platform. What is the appropriate platform to talk about something like that?
Exactly.
Because I don't think there is one, because that's not appropriate in any way, and it never has been. So don't forget, you know, if you know who Mr. Sulu is, you know somebody that was in a camp.
Yep.
It was, you know, most of us probably have Jewish friends or family that were in a camp. You know, these things happen, and I just want us to be aware. I know that's not a fun, silly thing to think about this week, but I do think it's important. So
Very much so.
We'll post that information. It's just been heavy on my mind lately with all this going on, and it's important we know the dark side so that we don't repeat it.
Yes.
So Jessica did not have anything to do with this. So you can direct all your hatred at me. Dana Powell. I'm the redhead. I enjoy you.
I enjoy you immensely.
I hope you have a great time at your job. You guys will be back here. We'll be back again next Tuesday, yeah?
Indeed.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.